What up guys, it's Drama for Life here today and I'm back with another video. Now today's video we're going to be talking about how to beat a character with the ability of mind control. Now before I get into this video, I do want to say that I did upload 2 videos yesterday. I actually recorded them and I tried to upload them, but my internet went out and it was because there was a payment that didn't go through, but I got it fixed, so my internet's back, so it should be uploaded today. So today is going to have 4 uploads that's going to be happening, so you guys might enjoy it, but yeah, sorry for yesterday not uploading. I did record it, it just wouldn't come out, so it doesn't matter anyway because I'm going to be doing it all today. So yeah, now let's get into how to beat a character with mind control. Now mind control might be one of the most OP versions of, psychic abilities, because there's countless different psychic abilities, and I have talked about some strong ones like, reading minds and being able to specifically attack at people's minds or create illusion in people's minds, which are also quite impressive. But I do think mind control is one of the hardest, because if somebody can have control over what you think and what you do, then how are you supposed to beat them? Because they can basically make you do whatever they want. They can make you hurt yourself, they can make you hurt others, they can basically take you down. And this is very dangerous to fight a character with this ability. But there are different versions of mind control, so it can make it a little bit easier or a little bit more harder. And there are some ways to beat people with mind control that you could use to in a writing narrative. If you have an opponent who has ability to control minds, or a character that can control minds, you can at least write some way where they struggle or lose. So yeah, let's get into this. How are we supposed to beat a character with mind control? Now first, let's go through the other versions of mind control. Now there's not really different versions, but just different levels of limitations and ones that don't have limitations. Now the different limitations is one is how many people can be mind controlled, because sometimes people can only mind control maybe like 1 or 2 people's minds, and then there's people that can mind control a bunch of people's minds. And then there's the range of how far they can go. Some people's ranges are a lot shorter, like maybe a couple of feet. So like if you get close to them in a couple of feet, they can control your mind. Or you could be even far away and they can still control your mind. Some can even go crazy enough to control an entire planet's mind. So like a world level of range to control minds. And then other ones, also another like kind of hindrance that some might have would be, how do they control minds? Like in My Hero Academia, there's that one character from class 2B, I think it was called, a B2. He had the ability where if you speak to him and he asks you a question, you answer back, you basically are under his mind control. Other ones, they're a little bit different, but that's how he does it, which is quite, it's quite useful. But if you don't, answer his questions or ignore it, or you go in to attack him, he can't really control your mind. You will take him out. Now, there are other ones that are far more, complex. Some characters can control the person's mind just by looking at them. Others can control the mind just by being closer to the vicinity of the person. They don't need to speak to them. They don't even need to look at them. That is the most dangerous version, because they can do it in any way and easily as hell. Now there's also a level of struggle, because even if you can control somebody's mind, even multiple people's mind, it will be a time before, you will have a limit to how long you can control their mind, because you're basically using your own mind to control theirs, which will take up energy. Anytime you use any of these techniques or abilities, it does take energy, so it's not like the character can control their mind forever, unless they implement something in their mind. If they're trying to control it the entire time, then it will drain them a lot. But if they're just trying to directly implement a command or to do something, then they don't really need to. Unless they're doing it to multiple people, then they can kind of get tired. The best example for that would be like Lelouch from Code Geass, where he implements commands into people's minds and wires in there, instead of just having to completely control it. So he can only give a command out once. It cannot happen again, and once the command is done, then it's done with the mind control. But for him, usually he does it to get people to either kill other people or themselves, which is very dangerous. Now those are the different types of it. Now obviously the top level of mind control would be to, one, have a very large range of control. 2, have no time limit. 3, be able to just directly implant mind control in them instead of having to control them, because then you won't have to use the energy of controlling them. You just have to use it when you do then. Also be able to control do it multiple times, to multiple people, and what's the thing called, without having to talk to them or even look at them, just naturally doing it. That would be the most deadly. So these different ones, there's different ways to beat them, but it's still, in the end of the day, to beat all of them, you have to have a couple of same powers or abilities to beat them. Now Now in what's the thing called, in the weakest version, like talking to that person, that will work. But here's the thing: if a person doesn't answer or just goes in for the attack, it doesn't matter. That person will be killed. So even if they can control their minds completely, if they don't engage in conversation, just want to fight them and kill them or ignore it, then basically that's pointless. Even the looking one, if somebody doesn't look in their eyes or just moves so fast that even if they do look at them, by the time that they're able to do it, they're already hit and taken out. They'll be dead. So it really wouldn't matter if they mind control them, because they'll be moving so fast that they can look at you and then speed blitz you and take you out. And then for like the range one, of somebody, let's say, like has a specific range that they can set it off, you would just have to be further away. Now if it's like planet size, that's going to be a ridiculous distance you have to be. But if it's like a couple of feet or even a couple miles, you can stay away and shoot them with a sniper or fire them with like a long range attack. Especially if you know that they have the ability, you can be on the outside of it. Just stay away from their mind controlling range to take them out. Now let's say you have the most powerful version of them. How do you take out somebody like this? And quintessentially, generally all of them, if they do get you under their mind control, and let's say they don't have a time limit and stuff, well, the best way to do that would be to have a couple of powers. One, to have mind resistance. Either you have resistance to mind controlling abilities, or you have a complete nullification to mind controlling abilities. So they could try to control your mind, but you can resist it, and they would have to have a high level of mind control to be able to overpower you. But if you have a nullification, like complete nullification of mind control, then no matter what they do, they can't control your mind and are basically helpless, because that's their only real power or main power that they can use to give them the win. And then, okay, so yeah, sorry for that. I had to go do something. But like I was saying, of your another one I said, if your brain is processing information too fast, the problem with trying to put a psychic illusion or try and trick somebody's brain, you have to kind of get a grasp of their brain and be able to do that. But if their brain processes it too fast, they can't really get a hold of it, and that's definitely for mind control, because to control somebody's mind or their action, you have to be able to invade their mind. But if their mind works in a way that's too fast, then you can't really invade their mind. Also, if the person's move so fast, they speed blitz you. So even if they can activate it, they're taken out before they are even able to use that power or whatever, even if they have a wide range of it. Now, in general, it's very dangerous, but if you can also create clones of you, that they're taking control of these clones, so they're taking over fake ones, you can basically fake the person out. You can do tricks where you have countless fake ones, and then you can come in from another place and they won't expect a thing or whatever. But like I said, in general, it's very, very hard to beat somebody with mind control power. There are some instances in other fiction where characters are able to overcome it, even if they don't have resistance to mind controlling. It's simply they just have, will. They use their willpower to do it. I do think that's kind of BS, but that it has been shown countless times, and so that is definitely another one, to have strong willpower, that even if they can't hold grasp of your mind, you're strong enough to break it. But I just feel like some characters are a little too OP. I think the best way is to have at least some psychic protection yourself to be able to go against it. In Dragon Ball, the characters, they train their body, their soul, and their body, their mind, and their spirit. Basically meaning they're strengthening their physical, their mental, and their spiritual ability. So that means they can take physical damage, mental damage, and spiritual damage. Obviously, to certain extents, their physical is the highest, but they can still take those. And mental training will definitely work, especially if you have superpowers and you can use psychic abilities. Having mental blocks could definitely work against their mind control. So mind control is very hard. The only way you could definitively work against it, and basically you would have to have some psychic or mental powers to definitively be able to go against it. But like I said, we've seen countless times where a character has been mind controlled and they don't really even have mental resistance, and you just hear their friend saying, please don't do this, fight it, or they're about to kill them, and then they see it and then they're able to fight out of it. So even if you don't have that, you can technically break out of it in a way. So there's characters that can do that, but then there's also characters that are just very, very powerful, that even if you do control their mind, at some point they'll be able to break out of it. So it wouldn't always be like definitive case that will 100% work on them and then you can completely have a grasp of their mind. But it's still pretty powerful, especially if it works, and it works against most characters, except for sometimes when writers want to put some BS and say, hey, this character was able to break it with their willpower alone somehow. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.